Everyone, my name is Zaki. I apologize if I'm talking a little fast, but I just have a lot to get through. I'll be talking about moral stakes as a learning mechanism, and my game is Detroit Become Human, which is about three androids in our future. Marcus is a caretaker of a painter who ends up leading the android revolution. Connor is a crime scene investigator, and Kara is a caretaker of a child in an abusive household. So, my argument would just be how does morality and moral complexity play into learning in video games? My thesis would be Detroit Become Human uses moral decision making as a vessel through which G's principles operate. By getting players invested in their characters and the world, the game ensures that when those principles are put to the test, the stakes actually feel real and learning is enhanced. I'll start by defining moral decision making, which is the idea that there's no right answer. There's something that may feel like the right answer, but that's just because of your experiences in life and who you and what shaped you through the game and who you're playing as. I'll be talking about moratorium, psychosocial moratorium, and these are my five principles I go over in my paper. Moratorium is the idea that the game gives you a safe space to explore and make mistakes before the real stakes kick in. Identity principle is where deep learning happens when you stop just controlling a character and start actually becoming them. Well-ordered problems are early low-stakes choices that are designed to build habits that pay off when harder situations arrive later. Co-design is you not just playing through a story, you actively choose who your character is and what the world becomes. And regime of competence would be the game putting you at your limits, at the edge of what you built up and your skills that you built up, and seeing how you perform. Moral stakes are not just the subject of the lesson. I want to emphasize this. They're what make each principle feel real. So I'm not examining morality in that sense alone. I want to talk about morality and how that enhances learning. Less about morality and more about morals in this game. So these are my missions. Feel free to pause it to take a deeper look and read these. For the hostage chapter, this is a great example of moratorium and identity because you start off as Connor and you learn that Connor is a detective and you really are dove into this environment where you're taught how to learn how to interact with your environment, learn what happened at the crime scene, and this builds up your skills to see how you actually take care of the child and make sure she doesn't get hurt. In this mission, it's called Partners. You work with Hank, who is a veteran crime scene investigator, but he's drunk and he really hates androids. So you have to be careful how you interact with him to try to get him to work with you because that affects how he treats you when you actually get to the site in the mission later on. And in Stormy Night, this is an example of regime of competence because Todd, who's the owner of this house, he's in a rage. He's the one who abuses Kara and Alice sometimes, and he directly orders Kara not to move. But it's your choice based off the moral decisions you've made so far and what you've learned in the game so far to break through this barrier by spamming L1 and taking care of Alice later on. And this is a test of who you've become through the game so far. Where this design may fall short is that through after every mission, you're kind of shown a flowchart of what decisions you made and what possibilities there were, and this kind of takes away from you personally identifying with your decisions and your uh and the morals of the game because you're kind of shown about what if and what could have happened. To fix this, I just want to delay that to the end of the game to just see out of curiosity what could have happened which so it doesn't take away from your experience. Another problem would just be Connor, Kara, and Marcus kind of being in their own worlds initially throughout the game, and this kind of makes it harder for us to think about the game as a system and how they all interact as androids in society. To fix this, adding like a UI element, like a shared societal tension meter, would be really cool because you see how your individual decisions as a specific android in your mission affect society as a whole and how androids are viewed in society. To conclude this, I want to talk about Detroit Become Human and how it doesn't teach you what to value. It's not teaching you how to learn morality, it's not teaching you what to value. It builds a world where your choices accumulate into a character and then puts that character somewhere that actually demands something of them. So it puts you in situations where you learn what you want to do in that situation, and it's an morally ambiguous situation, so there's no right answer. And through that, through those skills and those habits that you've learned, you do something with it, and you're in a situation later on that demands something from you. So you're in moratorium where you're building skills in a low stakes environment and well-ordered problems. These habits that you build and decisions that you make affect decisions later on. And overall, in regime of competence, your skills are tested at a higher level because you're morally invested in what's going on, and your learning has been enhanced, and now you're put to the test. And after you come through, you learn even more because you're so invested in the game. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys have a great day.